What a cool spot. This has been in here for 18 months, never been cleaned. I don't think it needs to be cleaned.
I like the colors that they put in the hot tub, all the fish, all the plants.
What is the maintenance like on this? We are in Dana Point, California. Beautiful Dana Point, California. I'm Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. This is my channel, Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy, and this is a beautiful yard. Beautiful.
Janet, Ed, this is Greg.
Ed, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Janet.
Pleasure.
All right, very nice to meet you. So you guys are gardeners, I can see, or one of you is.
The gardener. The gardener.
Who's
Yeah,
this guy?
Amazing.
That's
Is that a
Tucker.
King Crusher Spaniel or?
King Charles.
King Charles Spaniel, yeah.
That's
great.
Tucker.
Well, thanks for letting us see your water feature. I heard this one and I'm like,
I brought Milton too.
okay. Oh, this is so nice. I love it, girlfriend. You are a master gardener.
Thank you.
This is so nice. What a cool spot. Look at this. It never gets old. Look at all the fish. Oh my, the plants are so perfect. Oh, look at that canna. I love that burgundy canna on there. Oh, the spillway bowl. Now, was there an existing water feature here?
No, there was a detached garage here
What?
2 years ago.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we knocked it down and built a new one and put it back. This should have been the backyard for this house,
Yeah, totally.
and now it is.
So gardener, come over here, Janet. I love it. So this was a detached garage just 2 years ago.
Yes. So
And you created this whole space.
the only yard we had back here was about to here.
Oh my goodness.
And
okay.
then it was garage. Yeah.
Now you guys moved from the East Coast?
No.
Okay.
I'm a Southern California girl, born and
Okay.
raised.
Okay.
He's a Pennsylvania guy, born and raised.
So you had an Aquascape pond out in Pennsylvania?
Had a pond there, and they had Aquascape products.
Yeah,
It wasn't quite like this one.
It wasn't
was
as
there when
good.
we-
Well, maybe a certified Aquascape counter like Dave didn't build it here from AquaLife.
Well, the Aquascape influence of that pond is what
Yeah.
prompted me to find it.
Sure. Oh man, this is just terrific. So how has it been? So this is your second pond. You inherited a house in Pennsylvania with one. This is, I guess, your first one?
Well, I lived there for a little bit, so.
Oh, in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's it been like? Because people don't know. What's it like living with an Aquascape ecosystem water feature? Like how is your life?
I mean, it's our friends, our family come over and they walk in and they just kind of,
Yeah, zen.
we've heard resort.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Everybody makes themselves at home, getting into the refrigerators and grabbing something to drink and just
Yeah.
sitting around, and yeah, they enjoy it.
So
a
you've
lot.
been in this house for 2 years?
We bought this house
Nine
years
nine.
ago.
Oh, 9 years ago, but until 2
It
years
took us-
ago, you had that garage back here.
Right.
Wow, but the garden has really taken off in the last 2 years.
It has.
Wow, it's nice when you have good weather and a green thumb, huh?
Yeah. That
Yeah. So for people that haven't lived with one of these before, what is the maintenance like on this?
That's the thing. I feel like I should be doing something.
Good. I like to hear that.
Nothing to do. A good friend has a rather large koi pond, and he was over and he's looking. He's like, "How come your water is so clear and there's no algae?"
Aquascape ecosystem work with Mother Nature, not against her. The rocks and gravel, the beautiful pond recipe, and a good builder in this man.
I told him it was because I was better looking and smarter than he was.
Okay, yeah. And she married you and takes care of everything. Well, Dave, why don't you go ahead and give us a little tour of what you actually created here?
Here we are in Dana Point, California. This is one of my favorite ponds. We got thrown a landscape design. It was this long, narrow pond and they wanted it really deep and they didn't want a waterfall. So I was like, hey, let's do an intake bay and let's do a wetland filter and this thing's gonna be really cool. When we first showed up, it was just dirt back here. No hot tub, no garage. It was like a total rebuild. And so we had to really do some envisioning of how this thing was gonna be laid out. A couple tweaks on what the landscape architect did, and we finally figured that we'd throw a water bowl in there. And then I brought Milton in. Milton's our builder, he's our crew chief. So Milton, tell us about the process.
This process, I mean, it was a fun process, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, everything was down to the books here. I mean, building the intake bay, we got the wetland filter on the other side. I mean, you can see the quality of the water. I mean, the process was fun. Getting a big machine out here was a little tricky, just some, you know, the tight little area we had here to work with. But all in all, I mean, just great communication me and the homeowner had, and we followed the design they wanted, and now they're extremely happy with it. So.
Yeah, wasn't there a little problem getting the machine in here? I ordered one little.
Oh, that's right. So we got a cage with the machine and it didn't go under the, it didn't fit under the garage. So actually we had to take the whole cage off, believe it or not. And we put it back in once we got inside, but yeah, it was a little issue. And he had a lot of drains coming through. So that wasn't, you know, that didn't help any at all. So just kind of having to be a little careful with all that stuff. But at the end, I think we got it done fairly nice.
So this is a really cool view. What they wanted was, it kind of looked like a deep water stream in the design. Obviously they wanted fish. So they also said 2 to 3 foot wide, but they wanted it 3 feet deep. And that was going to be a challenge. We got a little more width out of them, but the overall look, I think, came out super cool. So what we did, you could see down there, we've got fish caves throughout. Over there, we've got the wetland filter in Milton. And they wanted this right next to the hot tub, which I think is a really cool idea. Obviously, we put lights all throughout here. This is the beginning of the intake bay. We did the intake bay really long. They wanted this shallow section. Like I mentioned before, they didn't want a traditional rock waterfall that we build. They wanted this water bowl. It was actually in the landscape design. We, of course, changed what the landscape architect did and made it better, if I do say so myself. What did we do for the wetland filter over here?
We added a jet down there. That way we can get some of that water being pushed into the intake bay over there. But just traditional wetland, some aqua blocks at the bottom, just raising the water through a bunch of gravel, different layers of gravel to filter the pond, and which is doing an incredible job. As you can see, it's super clear. So I mean, this is wonderful. All the water's being pushed up all the way to the intake bay.
Did we put another jet right there? Looks like some flows coming out.
It's been a while now actually, but we had 2 jets. We have one there and here.
Yeah.
So the pump is being separated between jets and the wetland filter.
Yeah, so its flow is incredibly important on ponds. The combination between the wetland filter and the intake bay is what makes it's just a powerhouse combination. This thing is like a pristine aquarium, and it stays like this, and the homeowners will attest. There's very little maintenance when it comes to this pond. What I love about this yard is all the color. I like the colors that they put in the hot tub, all the fish, all the plants. This place is just cool.
The homeowner actually wanted to be able to have fish on this side. Therefore, we made this intake bay deeper than it needed to be. But the entrance is actually still extremely shallow for the skimming action that we needed, which is under the bridge. This is where everything, all the debris enter from, head that way into the aqua blocks. And as you can see, all the little fish are in there, exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
Got lights all around the intake bay, some plants growing in there nicely.
And that's the very important part, is that this thing skims, that it's got biological and mechanical filtration, and it's just well balanced. You can see on the rocks, it's the same rock on top of the pond as down below, and what that is the biofilm, or as Ed Blue likes to call it, bioslime. And it's a really coveted and important part of the ecology of the pond. And homeowners, when they get their first pond, they get a little shocked when things are starting up about the green. All of a sudden you'll get this bright green on the rock and they'll call, there's something wrong, the pond's not working. And that's a normal reaction when you have a new pond, because when we first fill it up, it's cloudy and then the water clears up and everything's brand spanking new. But we need to establish a well-balanced ecology, and in doing that, it's going to go through awkward phases, just like we do as humans. And sometimes the water turns pea green for weeks, and then we get those different colored, different phases of of algae growing on the rock until it gets that dark patina on the rocks. That's the biofilm, and that's what we want. And the result, look at this amazing water quality. I kind of come up with the concepts. Milton perfects them. He always has really good ideas, and that's what I tell the homeowners. I'm like, this is kind of a rough draft of what I think we should do. Milton's gonna tweak it and perfect it. He constructs it, and they turn out amazing.
You give me a little red here, Dave.
Wait, are those like, what are those?
Stand-up paddle boards.
Oh, they're
race
okay,
boards,
okay,
ocean race
but they're
boards.
pretty big.
Yeah, they're ocean race boards. So they're 14 feet long.
Wow. I mean, that's way thicker than I would, normally see too, I mean, that is, boy, you have like one for every condition or something?
Yes.
That's how you stay in shape. That's your therapy out there, huh?
That's my therapy, yes.
Wow, this is a sweet setup that you have out here. You got a Mustang, Cobra?
Yeah.
Nice. What is that?
That's a Shelby.
Oh, okay, Carroll Shelby. Very fun. Is that a kit car?
No.
That's an actual Shelby?
Yeah.
Nice. Pretty sweet. Okay, we got some shirts for you guys for the hospitality. So we've got a really cool merch with a koi. All right. And then we got an Aqualand shirt, which is our corporate headquarters. So some of the stuff from the merch channels.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys. This is a real joy to be able to chronicle what you guys are doing here. You are living the aquascape lifestyle personified. So one of the questions that people are going to have is, how is the water so clear? And it's just a standard aquascape intake bay and a wetland filter.
Exactly.
So this side is your intake bay.
My intake bay, yeah.
You've actually got some actual plants in the intake bay. Show us the wetland. This has been in here for 18 months, never been cleaned. I don't think it needs to be cleaned, and even probably this season, probably 2.5 years you might not have it. So this is the wetland right here.
The wetland is in that side, correct?
So how does this work for people that don't know how a wetland filter works? You have aqua blocks under here.
Yes, sir. And
Water
we have,
pumps up through.
different layers of gravel. We have a thick layer at the very bottom, and it just slowly gets smaller and smaller, and all that just works for filtration.
What I love about this is it's all inside here. So the filter is inside the pond.
Same system.
Because you are limited with space. If I'm looking at this filter, just so that folks know, I'm going to say, and it probably goes all the way to the edges, right?
Yes.
So it's probably 4 feet by maybe 6 feet in this area. It's about 12 inches of water, and it probably goes down another 2 feet after that,
Yep.
right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you got it right on point. And we got some jets right here. You can see the jet pointing over there, and then a jet down here somewhere, just to have some movement pushing towards the intake bay. It's doing exactly what we wanted it to do. So
You like building ponds?
I love it, man.
Why?
It's just, I mean, just seeing the excitement of the customers just gets me. I mean, it gets me going. I mean, it's just an art, I get the rocks and I have to build off of it. It's like a puzzle to me, and I just love after I finish it all up. And I mean, you can see why.
You can see what you've accomplished that day, and of course the reactions from the customers, and then you become friends with your customers.
At night.
This is your 5th year working with Dave?
5th year, yeah.
Well, we need young men like you with talent to be in this business. So thanks. You do good work, my man. I love my job.